Hey everyone, welcome. This is Fabienne, and I am here with Jennifer Gillman. And Jennifer, you welcome, and you have done extraordinarily well so far here at Boldheart Business. And I would love for those who have been watching us for a while at Boldheart and who don't really fully understand what we do here to hear your story. So before I ask you a couple of questions, please just introduce yourself, tell everybody what you do.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Gillman. I run Gillman Strategic Group. I call myself a law firm matchmaker because I help unhappy law firm partners and solo practitioners find their exact right perfect fit at a new firm. And Boldheart's been invaluable to me.
Hmm. So you and I were talking not too long ago about the fact that you're not necessarily like many people who enter Boldheart Business because you were just starting your business. I think just like a couple of weeks before you joined Boldheart Business. So you didn't have the years of following me and all of that. What When you first started your business, like what did you know about getting clients? Did you know about closing the sale? Tell me what your situation was like before you joined us.
Well, I had been with another agency and I had some ideas about what I wanted to do. I had a vision of the business I wanted to create and I felt it very strongly, but I also didn't have any business experience at all. I had been an English major in college and I kind of knew that I needed some more information to be successful at making my vision come to life. So I am so glad that I found Boldheart right at the beginning. I joined, I think I was 12 days into my business. So I never had to be without resources. It was great. I had the community and the coaching and the information and the training right from the start.
Yeah. Can you, so I often tell people that when they're in the growth phase of their business, the most important, the two most important things that they need to learn at the exclusion of just about everything else is how to market authentically to get leads and how to close those leads and turn prospects into paying clients. So marketing and sales. And that's what you first learned in the growth track. And how was that useful for you to ramp up your business quickly in the growth phase?
I wish I had learned all about this marketing earlier on in my career. When I was an attorney, I could have brought in all kinds of clients if I had known all of your marketing secrets. I always thought of myself as that's not for me. I'm not a marketer. I feel uncomfortable and too salesy. But once I was exposed to all the different ways there were to market and how there's really something that fits everyone's innate talent and personality, I realized that I could be a great marketer as long as I was doing the things that I felt comfortable doing. And it was easy to close the sale once I concentrated on how I was serving the other person and the value that I was bringing. All I had to talk about was the change that they were going to have. I didn't have to worry about myself.
Yeah, I think in the marketplace, we've been taught so many masculine ways to market that for us women feel uncomfortable. So we don't like to see ourselves as marketers. And same thing with closing the sale. The sales techniques that are taught out there feel deeply uncomfortable for many of us who don't feel like we want to hit people over the head with a 2x4. So when you learn how to close the sale and to market in a more feminine way that feels authentic, the results, like you want to do it all the time and the results are amazing. What happened in your first year in Boldheart Business in terms of the number of clients, in terms of the money that you were making? Do you mind sharing that with us?
Oh, not at all. I was lucky enough to have proof of concept pretty early on. I joined Boldheart in November, and I had been working with the candidate already, and I was able to place her at a perfect firm after finding her three really great alternatives. And she just gave me a testimonial. So I know that she was really happy. She's been there over a year. She's really satisfied with the change she made. So that was great to start off that way. And it made me bolder and braver. I went to a meeting. in a snowstorm on my birthday in February with a partner who scared me on the phone because she had a huge book of business and I admired what she was doing, and she was at the wrong place, and I knew I could help. Even though she was better at getting clients and maybe being a law firm partner than I was better at finding the right job than she was. And the Boldheart materials made me feel more comfortable and confident that I had something of value to offer, and it didn't matter who I was talking to or how successful they were, or compared to me in the legal world. I was really good at helping them find the place that they wanted to work, and they could be a lot happier once they worked at the right firm.
Yeah, totally. And I think
So
that bold aspect, that feeling confident about yourself, changes how you ask for the sale, changes how you show up in situations. A lot of members, as you probably know because you talk to them all the time, a lot of the members of Boldheart Business find that this is actually just as much a personal growth program as it is a business program, because we work on your mindset, we work on your belief systems, we work on how confident you show up to be in the world.
definitely. As a trained lawyer, I had never meditated or had a green smoothie or done any of the things that I do now on a daily basis. So I think the mindset part of it was even more valuable than the business and marketing part of it. I just didn't know what I was signing up for.
Yeah, yeah. Tell us what happened in terms of money in your first year. Did you make money right away? Did it take a while? People are always asking, will this work? Will I get my money back? Will I bring in new money, not just learn how to market and close a sale? Will it be financially viable to invest in myself by going into Boldheart Business? What was your situation?
Well, the confidence that Boldheart gave me to go to that meeting in the snowstorm on my birthday when we didn't have perfect way of getting the kids to school that morning, because I knew that was the meeting I needed to be at. That was a six-figure deal, just
Woo!
that one placement. So,
Yes, high five.
so in the first year,
Very
I,
quickly.
I was getting a lot of marketing systems in place, and I was working on myself and my concept of the business and doing a lot of networking. But I was able to bring in, I believe it was 170,000 or so. So that was, I mean, I'm planning to go much further than that, but that was a nice first year to go from zero to that.
Yes.
And then I moved up to the leverage program, and I'm learning how to leverage my team and my time and my systems, because right now I'm the only one who talks to the lawyers. And so I'm a little bit of a bottleneck because I'm so fortunate that I have more opportunities than I can take advantage of at the moment. So we're working very hard to find some other recruiters to join our team. And I've got my first full-time employee as of September 1st. So I'm thrilled, and I hope she's just the first.
Yeah. So if you watching here aren't really familiar with what we do in the Boldheart Business program, you start at growth, and that takes you to 10K a month consistently. That's a 2-year program, but you can bump up to leverage at any time that you reach that 8 to 10K a month. And that's where we get you from 6 figures to multiple 6 figures, and then eventually 7 figures, and get your life back. And I want to ask you this, Jennifer, and you've done well in leverage too. Like the money keeps coming in. Tell me about the aspects of the program that are the most valuable for you. What do you hold as super valuable?
I think that it's a combination of having so much information and so much training and support, but in such a nice, welcoming community. It makes it easier to take in all of the information. We have the ability to ask questions whenever we want. We have other members to bounce things off of. We meet in smaller groups. We have video question and answer sessions. We have in-person meetings. there's never a time when a whole week goes by that there's not an opportunity to have some support of some kind. So even if I'm spinning my wheels a little bit for a day or two, I know that it's only going to be a couple of days until, if I haven't been able to answer the question myself, someone else can. And often it's you directly, and sometimes it's one of the other coaches or one of the other members.
Yeah, it's that you're never more than, usually I say you're never more than 6 days away from my help, but in actuality, you're never more than a few hours or a few minutes without somebody coming in and saying, hey, let me tell you what I did. There's this feeling of extreme, I don't know, this is what I've been told again and again, this feeling of extreme generosity in the program, where everybody understands that a rising tide lifts all boats. And if I help you, one day you'll help me. If I've got something that can help you, it makes me feel good. And you know, it's the kind of that law of circulation. What you give to one person, you get back tenfold from another. What are the people like in Boldheart Business?
They're the friendliest people I've ever met. I mean, I'm pretty outgoing, but I was a little bit nervous going to Mindset by myself, not knowing anybody in the room. It was like hundreds of people and it had a really nice energy, but I was a little nervous about going and talking to people that I never met before and breaking into a conversation. And to a person, every single person that I met was so welcoming and warm and so interested in meeting everyone and supporting everyone else. It's a really supportive community. I think that I've made some lifelong friends in Boldheart.
People say that all the time, that they've been waiting to meet this community of people their whole lives. There's just a way that we create this sacred bubble of love and total acceptance, no matter who you are, where you're from. And we understand that we're all cut from the same cloth, and that we would prefer to collaborate rather than compete. Jennifer, I would want to ask you if there was any resistance. Sometimes people hear about the opportunity to join us, and whether sometimes it's the spouse that doesn't want the member to join. Sometimes it's a question of money. Sometimes it's a question of, I'm doing other things. Will I get results? Stuff like that. Was there any resistance for you? Because I think you heard about it one day and the next day you signed up. Was there resistance?
There was a little bit of resistance. I was worried about whether it would apply to my business. I heard about it from somebody who was a coach, and when I was investigating, I saw a lot of coaches who were part of it, and I was wondering, is it really going to apply to me? I'm sort of in a more B2B environment. And there was a little bit of resistance, like, I've been in business 12 days. Should I really be spending so much money on this non-existent business that hadn't earned any money yet? But I'm so glad that I went for it, because I feel like all of the members that I've spoken to have waited a little bit and they've floundered around, and it's been unpleasant and anxiety producing. And I was able to start right away with all the right resources and all the right support. And I think that's what's grown my business faster. I think that it would have taken longer to get to where I am if I had waited longer to join. And as far as being a certain kind of business, or this kind of business, or that kind of business, you always say it's like a buffet. There's so much good information and so much to choose from. There was a lot that was exactly right for my business. And if there was ever one thing that was better for someone else, there was so much to absorb already that I can't even imagine not having this resource.
Yeah.
So I hope that I'm allowed to be in the program forever.
You can. Literally, there are some people who have been in it 7, 8 years, and they're like, well, I've looked, over the fence to see if the grass is greener. And sometimes people have left and they've looked for other solutions, and they're like, I don't know what I was thinking. And they're like, can I please come back? I'm like, the door has always been open. This is your home. Stay as long as you want. Thank you, Jennifer. Would you say that this is worthwhile in terms of a financial investment? Has it been worthwhile for you in terms of the return on investment?
Definitely. I mean, the return on investment to be able to have some training and make six figures in the first year. This year, I have a very big goal, and I hope that I'm headed toward a lot more than that first year. I have some deals that are in the process of closing, and it's looking really good. So I would say, as much as it sounded like an investment to me, it really is an investment. It's a small amount of money to get a lot of support and information and training that can grow your business exponentially. I would really urge anybody who's thinking about it to just go for it.
Thank you, Jennifer. So happy to spend this time together with you today, and most importantly, to get to support you in growing your business. Thank you so much for sharing your inspiring story. I know that there are some people who needed to hear what you said today, and it will go change their lives. They'll take different action, and maybe they'll join us as a result. Thanks, Jennifer. Lots of love.
Thank you very much.